Hey guys, Miss K here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm hopping directly into the tutorial. So the first thing that I'm doing is showing you all my prep because I haven't shown my prep in so long. So I'm pushing back her cuticles, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to be going in with a fine grit sanding band on my mandrel bit, and I'm going to be removing the shine from her natural nails. And I'm doing the same process on all 10 of her nails. I decided to show you guys my prep process because it's been a long time since I've shown my prep work and a couple of things have changed, so this kind of gives you the view of that process. And I also wanted to point out my nails. Yes, my thumb and my pointer finger are broken off. I cut them down because I had some braids to do, so don't judge me based off my nails, guys, okay? Don't judge me. But next I'm going in with my needle point bit, and I'm going around the cuticle area. This is going to help remove any further dead skin that may be stuck to the nail plate. So I have my e-file in the forward position, and then I put it in reverse and I go along the other side of the nail. That way I can make sure that I'm really getting into the crevices and I'm removing all of the dead skin from the cuticles on every little aspect of the nail. So now going in with my cuticle ball bit, I'm following the same process, going from right to left with my e-file in forward position, and then I'm turning it into reverse and going from right or left to right just to make sure that we're really pushing back those cuticles and removing any extra cuticle that may still be on the nail. Then I'm going in with my nippers, and I'm just gonna nip off the extra skin that is still along the eponychium. We want to make sure that we don't clip any of the live skin off, only the dead skin, which is basically the part of the cuticle that is a little wider than the rest of the nail, or it's lifted up off of the nail. That's the cuticle, that's the part that I cut off. So I did this to all 10 of her nails, and I just like to make sure that I get it nice and clean looking. This really helps with your retention, so if you're struggling, your prep work could be the problem. Then I'm going in with the Beetles nail glue from their Gel X kit, and I'm using their light, and I'm going to use this to apply my tips. So my glue was literally glued shut, so I couldn't open it. So I improvised, okay? Period. Sometimes this is what you have to do. So if you can't open your glue and you have a Gel X kit, use that base nail glue gel stuff as your glue, and then just cure it on. And then after I applied all of them, I had her put her whole hand in the light for 1 whole minute. And now I'm just clipping the tips down so they're to a good length that she likes. Then I'm going in with my Tammy Taylor that's a lie. My Tammy Taylor peel and stick file. And I'm just going to, crisping up the shape of the nail. So I'm going along the sidewalls, along the sidewalls of the nail, and then across the tip of the nail, so that way I can make sure it's nice and straight. Generally, I like to use tips that are already pre-shaped. That way I don't have a lot of shaping to do to the nails before my application process. Since I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of shaping at the end anyways, I try to minimize the amount of shaping that I have to do overall. So I use pre-shaped tips. So now I'm going in with that same fine grit sanding band on my mandrel bit, and I'm blending the tips to her natural nail. Since I used that gel, I really want to make sure that I get a nice blend, so that way when I go in with my acrylic application, it's nice and smooth and there's no lumps and bumps between where her natural nail is and where I applied the tip on at. So I'm just going to do this to all 10 of her nails, and then I'll be back. I'm not the best at blending the natural nail with the tip, so forgive me on that, guys. I will get better. You know, everything is a learning process. So I'm gonna do this and then I'll be back. Okay, so if you've been watching me for a while, then you know I like to apply a clear coat of acrylic onto the nail before I apply my colored acrylic. So this just gives that extra layer to the foundation, and when I go back in to do a fill, we don't have to file all the way down to her natural nail and damage it. So I didn't record this process, but for my dehydrator and primer, I use the Mia Secret Nail Prep as my dehydrator, and then I go in with the Extra Bond Primer by Mia Secret, and then I also use this primer from Amazon called No Lift Primer, and I use Young Nails Protein Bond. Their nails usually stay on for 3, 4, 5 weeks, depending on how long they choose to keep them on. So now I am going to be making the smile line with nude acrylic. So I'm using this nude acrylic by Kiara Sky. It's one of their cover acrylics. I'm not exactly sure what color it is, but this is the color that she picked. So this is the color we're going with. So I apply this to the nail, and when I'm doing it, I want to make sure that I keep the bottom at a rounded edge, so that way it doesn't cover up the entire nail. It just goes into a nice little smile line, and then I use my brush to kind of shape the smile line of it, and then I go back in and I do my cuticle application. So first I try and perfect my smile line, then I go in and try and perfect my cuticle. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to go in with another bead to kind of just thicken up this nude color, so that way when I go back in with the next step, you'll see it'll all be cohesive with each other. You'll see. So here I'm just patting it down to make sure that it's nice and smooth, nice and blended, that cuticle bead is blending well with the bead that I had placed before. So that's what it's looking like. It looks really good, and I'm going to move on to my next finger. So I do the exact same process. I place a bead and then I form it into the smile line using my brush to form it. I try to get it basically how I want it to look, so that way I don't have a lot of filing to do when I go back in after applying the little smile line. So here I'm just shaping it, bringing it down longer, making it a little shorter, using the side of the brush to shape the acrylic, because if you use the tip of the brush, it has a tendency to put dents in it or cut the acrylic. I don't know why that happens, but it does. So here I'm just placing my cuticle bead now, and I'm just cleaning it up, cleaning the sidewalls and all of that. So it kind of just skipped to this part, and here you see I tried to use one whole bead to cover the entire nail. Yeah, don't do that unless you're a professional at this. If your thing is French tips, then go ahead, but mine is not. So I tried to use a bead and it was too big and there was too much going on, and honestly I would have tried to bring it up to the cuticle area, but I'm not that good at French tips to be trying to do all of this. So here I am with my cuticle bead, and as you can see, I flooded the cuticle because I was doing too much with that first bead, trying to be cute. So I flooded the cuticle with this bead, and then I'm going in and I'm cleaning that up, bringing it down, cleaning it up, fixing the shape of the nail, filling in where I need more acrylic. So this nail was kind of a struggle, but I am going to show you one where my application was damn near flawless, to be honest. Like, I applied it and It worked really easily. The shape of it turned out beautifully. I think this is the one I'm talking about. So I apply my first bead. I get that nice smile line going, period. Here we go. And I would recommend using cover acrylics for this. This one's by Kiara Sky, like I had said earlier. It just makes it a lot easier when you're going back in with your cuticle bead and everything. Cover acrylics are meant to be blendable, so it blends really easily with the previous bead that you already placed. They're self-leveling. They work really well. So as you can see, now I'm going in with my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, and I'm going to crispen up the smile line with the file. So this is why you kind of want to apply it basically as perfect as you can before you have to go in and do this filing part, so that way you're not spending a ton of time shaping and fixing your smile line, because you still have more acrylic to apply after this. So I go in and I round them all out, and I get them basically as straight and as perfect as I can. I'm not the queen of French tips, so I'm doing the best that I can here. So I do that, and then I'll be back with the next step. Alright y'all, so now that I'm finally done with that, I'm going in with white acrylic, and I'm going to apply this to the part of the nail that doesn't have any acrylic, so basically the French tip. So I apply it upside down, as you saw how I had my brush, and then I wipe it up, and I bring the white up the sides of the nail so that way it can completely fill in where the smile line ends at and where the French tip starts. So I fill that in, and then I just apply it, the acrylic, in the structure of how I want my nail to be built, so the shape and the structure. So you see I'm still wiping the sides of the nails like I would with any regular set, even if I wasn't doing a French tip. I like to wipe the sides to kind of keep the shape as much as I can. Then I'm going to clean up the bottom here, and I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that the nails were perfect. I would suggest not spending as much time trying to make sure that they're perfect as I did. But yes, so I turn my brush upside down and apply the acrylic that way. Then I'm gently pulling it down and shaping the nail with the brush. I'm gonna pat it along the tip so that way I can make sure that it's nice and straight. Here we go. I'm looking at it from every angle. You always want to make sure that you look at the nails from every angle, especially in this case, because you want to make sure that the white meets the nude acrylic all the way around the nail, not just from straight forward. You want to make sure that from the side view, it's meeting where the two colors meet at. Don't worry too much about getting any acrylic on top of the nude part. We're going to go back in after we apply the white, and we're going to finish file over the top of the nails, and then of course shape them. So here I'm just doing the same process. Turn my brush upside down, bring the acrylic up, and then swipe along the sides. Make sure that I'm keeping the shape and the structure of the nail as I'm doing it, or at least trying to as much as I can. These are not going to look perfect, as you can see by how they look right now, but the finished product will be well worth it. So I'm doing that same process, and then I'll be back once I'm done applying the white acrylic to the nails, and just let you guys watch. So as y'all can see, the process for an acrylic French tip is super repetitive. Now I'm going in with my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, and I'm going to go along the sides of the nails, making sure that I line it up perfectly with her actual nail bed, and bring it down kind of underneath the nail, and then of course parallel with the nail, or perpendicular with the side of the nail. And then I go across the tip of the nail also. This is just so that I can shape the nails. This is not the finished filing, this is just the shaping. So I'm going to do this on all 10 nails, the exact same process. I go along the sidewalls and then along the tip, and I'll be back with the finished filing that I want to show you guys, because that's the part that really makes the French tip pop. Alrighty, y'all, so now I'm going to be going in with my 5-in-1 carbide safety bit, and I'm going over the surface of the nails with this. You really want to go in on the nail where the nude meets the white, so that way you can get that real crisp smile line. You can see it kind of starting to appear here, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to make sure that I file it real nice and smooth. And then I'm also going around the cuticle area so that I can seal it and make sure it's nice and flush with the natural nail. And then I'm going to go along the length of the nail again. So here I'm doing that. I just want to really make sure that that smile line is defined, so that way you can see that line between the nude and the white. So I do this exact same process on all 10 of her nails. I go around the cuticle area to make sure it's nice and flushed with that natural nail, and then I'm going to go along the length of the nail, especially where that nude meets the white, so that way I can get that nice defined smile line. Look at that, it's just popping through. It's literally like magic. Then I'm going underneath the nails, of course, because we got to make sure that they have that nice curve. And then I'm going to show you again. I go around the cuticle area and then along the length of the nail. And you want to do this and make sure that your nails have the correct structure. So make sure you're looking at them from every angle. Okay, guys? Don't just look at them from straight over the top. Look at them from the side. Then I'm going back in with my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, and I'm just going to crispen up that shape just a little bit more, and I'm going to go over the tops of the nails to make sure that I've really got it smooth and there's no lumps and bumps left on the nails from applying the acrylic. Now going in with some Young Nail Swipe, I'm wiping her nails down. I'm going to remove all of the dusties from filing them. And oh my gosh, they look so beautiful. I love a classic French tip, but we're not leaving this classic. We're going to switch it up a little bit. So along the smile line, I'm using this red reflective glitter polish by I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's spelled Gaoy. That's the brand. So I'm using this, and I'm just going to go along the smile line of all 10 of her nails with the polish, and this is just going to bring that extra pop. And I have her cure this in the light for 2 minutes, and then I go in with top coat, cure that in the light for 2 minutes, cuticle oil, and this is the finished product, you guys. It looks so beautiful. A nice classic French tip, and that red line just gives it that extra pop. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you learned something, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.